Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Mary Peters track for the NI and Ulster Under 18 up to Senior Championships. We're nearly going to be straight into the action here with a T54 wheelchair 100 metres coming up. You can see them warming up. We've got local man Andrew Greer, who is probably favourite for this 100 metres in lane 4. And we've got two guests, athletes, Sean McCullough from Lecale and Killian Dunn from Boris O'Kane AC.
Sean McCullough in 5, Killian Dunn in 6.
These athletes will be racing later on in the 1500 metres. Certainly I think the short sprints are Andrew's favourite event at the moment. But T54 wheelchair athletes tend to be pretty versatile, and he'll be looking to test himself over the metric mile later on.
There you go, Killian Dunn away to a good start. Little dispute between them now as they come down the home
Andrew
straight.
Greer taking an early lead,
Slightly in the lead.
being pushed by McCullough in the middle. McCullough seems to be taking it from here.
Looks like going to be a win for Sean McCullough, and I think Killian
Very
is
good.
possibly getting up there on the line. to take
Sean
second.
McCullough takes it, and I think it was pretty close between Killian Dunn and Andrew Greer for second.
The clock not stopping, so we'll pick up the time as soon as we can.
Winning time looked like it was dipping below 17 seconds, but the clock didn't stop. Okay, so we're getting a replay here. So very good start from Andrew Greer. Sean McCullough came on pretty strong after 30 metres, and they were battling really well, but he came through and hit that top velocity and went away from there. Close for second, and I think it looks like Killian Dunn just came through and took the silver medal there. So very competitive race for the guys. So good to see that starting, and they'll be back again later on in the 1500 metres. So it's pretty unusual for us to have a two-day event for the NI and Ulsters. It's been on the cards for years. It's unfortunate that the pandemic is the reason for it, but it's good to see a record entry, and this is a good opportunity tonight as well for some athletes to double up. So we'll be seeing 400 metre hurdles coming up shortly. I know some of them will be running in the 400 flat tomorrow, which probably wouldn't have been the case if it had been a one-day event. And we've also got all of the 1500 metres tonight, which gives a lot of those middle distance athletes a chance to double up and do the 800s tomorrow. So that's definitely a positive in that sense, and I think could be a reason for one of the reasons why we're getting such good entries. The next race coming up in 3 or 4 minutes will be the 400 metre hurdles for women's. 400 hurdles women's is due off at 6:40, although we did go a little bit early, so yeah, perhaps in the next 5 to 7 minutes we'll be looking at that one.
We're going to go with the medal presentation for that event. In third, in a time of 16.76, which I think is possibly a fractional personal best for Andrew, was Andrew Greer of Torque. Second, in 16.69.
So presentations there. Third place, it sounds like it was a personal best for Andrew Greer by 100th of a second.
From the Sean McCulloch.
Cillian Dunn in second, and Sean McCulloch taking the win in 16.32. Very competitive race.
So the ladies setting up their blocks for the next event on the track, the 400 metre hurdles. There are 4 competitors in lane 2 will be Charlotte Labour of Armagh AC in the under 18 category. Lane 3, Lee McCurry of Anna Lee, bronze medalist in the Ulster Schools 300 metre hurdles. She's also in the under 18. In lane 4, from Ballymena and Antrim, Erin McMahon, under 19 category, ran 68.04 in the City of Lisburn meeting in August. She's the Ulster Schools 300 metre hurdles champion in 2019. And completing the lineup in lane 5 is Laura Fry of Lagan Valley, winner of this event in the National League final last year, in the Irish Championships. She's the reigning combined events champion, Irish combined events champion, at least until Sunday. She is not defending her title this year.
Okay, we seem to be nearly lined up and ready to go here for the women's 400 metre hurdles. In lane 2, we've got combined event or national combined event champion Laura Fray. Lane 3, we've got Charlotte Leyburn, is competing in the under 18s from Armagh AC. Niamh McCarry from Annalee AC in the under 18 girls as well. And in lane 5, Erin McMahon, Ballymena and Antrim in the under 19s. I think going on form, it'll be Laura Fray who has the form to take this title. Combined eventer, but that lends naturally to running a good 400 metre hurdles. So Laura Fry, Charlotte Leyburn, Niamh McCurry and Erin McMahon.
final of the 400-metre hurdles.
Girls are lined up ready to go now. Hopefully they'll take advantage of the relatively still conditions. Relatively mild night for middle of September. So lane 2 we've got Laura Frey. Lane 3 Charlotte Leyburn. 4 is Niamh McCarry, also combined eventer. And Erin McMahon, younger sister of Christine. Very fast 400-metre hurdler in lane 5.
So we're looking to see who will be the first to rise, and it looks like Erin McMahon out on the outside.
Erin McMahon and Laura Fry neck and neck at the moment, both attacking this fairly well.
So
McMahon's attacking the hurdles, seems to be stuttering slightly going into them. Laura Fry looks a little smoother, but they're still fairly neck and neck at this stage.
Niamh
McCarry seems to be leading the under 18s. Oh, but she's pulled up.
Unfortunately, a bit of a problem there for Niamh McCarry.
Laura just ahead of Erin McMahon, rising slightly earlier at the 250-metre mark.
On the inside, Laura Fry, then is Erin McMahon.
Erin McMahon hits hurdle 8. Keeps driving on. Laura's taking advantage of that and seems to have taken the lead now. Coming up to the 10th hurdle now. Laura Fry's clear over it, and McMahon's going to take the silver. Indeed, Laura Fry stops 61 seconds, and McMahon shortly behind. Battle for the under 18s coming through here, and it's Niamh McCarry against Charlotte Leyburn. Niamh McCarry just took that despite having to run twice at one of the hurdles. That's a pretty good effort. I think we'll get a replay there of the last 100 metres. Taken very smoothly by Laura Fry. She didn't set off quite as aggressively as Erin McMahon, but she was smooth all the way through. McMahon knocking hurdle 8, which seemed to put her off her stride a little bit. Very good effort from both the girls. Girls are heading over to the medal presentations as the track staff are setting up for the men's 400-metre hurdles. We'll have 2 seniors and 1 under 18 in that race. I believe Owen Sharkey isn't here, so I think we'll have Paul Sexton, Ryan Canning in the under 18s, and Oisin McCarry, older brother of Niamh McCarry, who's just raced. Okay, so we've got the presentations of the 400 metre hurdles here. Niamh McCurry getting the third place, also taking the under 18 title. Second was Erin McMahon, and Laura Frey taking the win for Lagan Valley. Charlotte Leyburn will get the silver for the under 18s. And welcome to Bashir Hussain, who is going to be co-commentating.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about this. I've just seen Laura Frey up there on the podium. I'm sure it won't be the last time, and I'm sure she's been there a few times before. So the weather's looking good right now, and I'm sure there are going to be some great performances tonight.
Yeah, another title for Laura Frey. She currently holds the Irish combined events title, and presumably will lose that this weekend, unless she's hopping down to Dublin now to do heptathlon. But straight after 4 hurdles, I'm not sure I'd fancy that.
No, it sounds like a tall order by anybody's standards.
So doing the under 18 presentations now, very close race. Niamh McCurry lost her under 18 lead at about 200 metres and gained it back around that top bend quite impressively. So yeah, very good race for those two. Haven't done too many 4 hurdles races between them. Actually, it could be their first each. I know Niamh would have done 300s, but yeah, good to get that career going.
I was just thinking the same thing myself, that there perhaps won't be too many in a great age to be learning their craft.
Erin McMahon just taken her gold medal for the under 19s as well. So medals all round for that event. So coming up now, we've got the men's 400 metre hurdles, 3 in that race. We've got Paul Sexton from Annalea AC in lane 3. Ryan Canning from Letterkenny AC in lane 4. He'll be going over the under 18 barriers. And then Oisin McCurry, Raheny in lane 6. It was a very close race between Oisin and Paul in the National Seniors a couple of weeks ago. I think Paul had the honours that day, so it'll be very interesting to see how they get on today. Both have similar season's bests, so it'll be interesting to see if young Ryan Canning can get in on the action as well over the slightly lower barriers. So this bash will be the last hurdles event, and then we're straight on 1500 metres for the rest of the night, all the way from under 14 girls to the wheelchair and the senior men and senior women later on at the end of the night. So it's going to be an exciting evening of 1500 metre races, and hopefully we'll see plenty of them back tomorrow in the 800.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there's going to be some top class performances from a few people, although I dare say there'll be some crazy fast laps from a few people, whether they empty the tank by going too fast.
Glad to see your stopwatch there, Bash. You can be the stats man with the splits, because yeah, my maybe in a sprints coach, my stopwatch, it stops and starts and doesn't do too much else. Don't need to do laps when you're mainly coaching sprints and hurdles.
We shall overcome, I'm sure. I dare say the 1500 is going to go slow and burn up on the last lap. That's usually the way it goes in heats.
The result of the women's 400 metre hurdles was a win for Laura Frey of Lagan Valley. The time is 63.5. Second, Erin McMahon, 66.1. Third, Niamh McCurry of Annalea, 75.1. And fourth, Charlotte Leyburn of Armagh, 75.3.
Okay, we look like we're looking like we're lined up and ready to go here in the men's 400 meter hurdles.
Last year. And Oisin McCurry of the Heaney Shamrocks, formerly Anlee, was fourth in this event last year and was sixth in the Irish. That's a best of 55.86, so it should be a very closely contested.
Okay, so I think we've got a slight change in lanes, which is actually good to see. Paul Sexton is going to be in lane 5 now. It's good to see the athletes not having gaps. I think they filled that up because Owen Sharkey isn't here. So that's going to stop Oisin from being too left out on his own out there, in lane 6. Good to see athletes push together where possible. Hopefully that'll push them on to even faster times. So Canning in 4, Sexton in 5, and McCurry in 6. Aggressive start from all 3. Who's going to be rising first? Very little to choose them. I think Sexton may have taken that first hurdle a little bit smoother and has taken a small lead over Oisin McCurry. Cannon running smoothly at the moment over the lower barriers. Sexton is still taking his lead through hurdle 5. Oisin seems to have found his rhythm now and is maintaining the distance between them.
This event is all about getting the stride pattern right.
Sexton stuttering a little bit into hurdle 7, still maintaining a 4 or 5 metre lead. Canning's coming back into it now as well, so it's a pretty close race. Coming into hurdle 9. Paul Sexton's taking the lead. Canning's coming up strong. Who's going to take the last hurdle better? Pretty close. Canning's coming through to take the time in 55.88, which must be a substantial personal best for him. Very good run. Sexton taking the senior title, just pipped to the line by Canning in the under 18s, and McCurry 4 or 5 metres back. I think the difference between the two seniors there was maybe just smoothness over the first 3 or 4 barriers. After that, it was fairly even Stevens, but Canning came through very well. So I think we're going to see a replay here. Yeah, we can see the last 100 metres or so. Sexton's got a good lead here. Canning's coming strong, really kicking on between hurdles 9 and 10. Took the last barrier very effectively. And just, I think, his natural endurance from his middle distance days took him through.
Yeah, I know, looking at that, certainly the guy on the inside looks far more like a middle distance runner, the guy on the outside far more like a power athlete, and perhaps he just dug a bit too deep, a bit too early on that one for him today.
Well, very good race though, good to see the guys turning out for the championships, and these guys have got a decent amount of races in, although I think young Ryan Canning is kind of learning his trade and progressing through the season, so I think we'll be expecting to see some good things from him next year when he goes over the slightly higher barriers, but I don't think they'll bother him too much.
Yeah, I always think the exciting thing about somebody who's a little bit raw with their technique is the enormous potential they've got to improve, and I certainly saw a little bit of that there. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the differential was between the 400 flat and the 400 hurdles.
Yeah, certainly. I know, well, Oisin McCurry there, who was in second place in the seniors there, he's running low 51s. So I think, if he can smooth out his hurdling a little bit, certainly 54s, even 53s is doable off that kind of flat speed.
Right through to our senior athletes at the end of the evening, including, of course, the 1500 metre wheelchair event.
Yeah, well, of course the top top athletes won't have as much of a differential. Carsten Verhoeven running 46 high. I think he's ran 45 low. But yeah, you'd be very, very hard pushed to have a 2-second differential.
I'm just thinking what Thomas Barr's differential is.
I think he's in the 2-second range because he's 46 low. I think he's running quicker splits for the relay, but yeah, he's probably in and around that 2-second, which is world class. So senior medals here: silver medal going to Oisin McCurry of Raheny, and Paul Sexton getting repeating his performance, being just ahead of McCurry from the Nationals a few weeks ago to take the senior title. A nice elbow bump there, which is the thing to do in these times. No shaking hands.
Yeah, it's definitely a new world out there.
So Ryan Cannon, who crossed the line first, takes the under-18 gold. Yeah, impressive performance. We don't have any times down for him, but I would imagine that was a PB. Okay, and I see the results. If you're looking for results, they are getting posted up on the Athletics NI Twitter. The wheelchair result is up, and it was indeed a personal best for Andrew Greer. 16:76 to take third. Pretty good performance for the young man. That's his only sprint race of the year, but he's been training all year for it. So to come out, open up and finish with a PB is a good sign of the work he's been doing. But there's definitely much more there. So coming up now, we've got the first race of the under 14 girls 1500 meters. There are 2 races for the under 14 girls, and they're going to be done as time trials. There won't be any finals. Well, it's looking fairly still at the moment. Generally, it might be with them in the back straight, but there's not much evidence of trees moving at the moment. Can't see any flags, but
Flag at the podium, the presentation podium. Looks like it's a headwind on the home straight, but it's only a very slight breeze at the moment.
pretty good conditions for middle distance running, wouldn't you say, Bash?
I'd say it's, yeah, almost perfect. And wish I was out there myself back in the day. Do you remember that?
Well, from the sprint's perspective, I would prefer something a bit more than the 14 degrees that it is, but yeah, we'd take it. Running tights or something.
I'm looking at your face, Tom, and it doesn't look like happy nostalgia, thinking of 1500s.
Yeah, that's all we've got for the rest of the night, 1500s, and easily my worst event. Being a decathlete, of course, but still, I had a few races I enjoyed. Even my mile race I ran here last year, quite enjoyed that, relatively speaking.
Yeah, endurance is one of those things. When you get it right, it's absolutely wonderful, but when you get it wrong, it hurts a lot.
I think when you're a decathlete, Bash, it hurts no matter what. Whether you're a good decathlete runner or not so good, it hurts for everyone.
You know, I always thought the moral of the story with decathletes is get a big enough lead so you can enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. I methere has been one or two decathletes at almost world-class level that have broken 4 minutes in the 1500, but yeah, I don't think training to that level, the training you have to do to run sub 4 minutes, will ever make you a truly world-class decathlete. There are one or two guys that scored, I think, over 8,000 points that have broken 4 minutes, which is astonishing. But yeah, I think the amount of training you do have to dedicate to run that kind of time would take away from your other 9 events.
Yeah, it's damage limitation sometimes, but thinking about these 1500 races, I don't suppose you know what the world record is in the decathlon for the 1500, do you?
I believe it's 3:58. So,
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So
anyway,
first race, under 14 girls, we have got Eva McAllister, Ruby Gilmartin, Thea Cunningham, Jodie Foster, Lily Rimmer, Emily Dawes, Mary Clements and Aisling Smith. Good acceleration mechanics from the girls, which is good to see at that young age. Fairly swift start. I'm sure Bash will update us on any necessary splits.
well, the first 100, they're just going through it now in about 16 seconds, so it was certainly a crisp start.
Pretty sharp, yeah, but there's definitely some good sprint mechanics there as well, so perhaps some of these girls don't just run the 1500, which is what we want to see at that age group. Run as many events as you can, maybe even do some jumps and throws. So at the moment, it seems to be Jodie Foster of Willowfield leading.
The Willowfield vest. Tucked in behind her, Lily Rimmer. Lagan Valley for Anna Lee on the inside, Ruby Gilmartin.
You could throw a proverbial blanket over the first 6 here.
Pace slowed a little from the 16 seconds first 100, but not too much. Still a pretty impressive pace. Jodie Foster still holding that lead from Ruby Gilmartin of Annalee.
Yeah, they're just coming through 400 now in around about 72 seconds. Which
even I can do the maths on that, Bash, because that would have been a target for me, which I did not hit, but that would be about 4:30 pace, right? Yeah,
spot on. Yeah,
that was the dream for me, but it never happened. I was in shape to do it one year, my one good year when I went to the Commonwealth Games in 2010. But in the 38 degrees of India, Delhi, it just didn't happen. So I had to settle for 4:42, I think it was. And
looking at this as they come down to the final 500, it's just 3 at the front. 4th and 5th, I wouldn't discount them yet.
Yeah, so it's still Jodie Foster, Ruby Gilmartin, and Lagan Valley athlete Lily Rimmer has joined the top 3.
I think I jumped the gun there. They've got 2 laps to go as they hit the finish.
Going through the 700 metre mark, and 4th and 5th are the 2 Ballymena athletes.
And somebody's been stretched now. This field is just opening up ever so slightly. 2:36 at 800, you may have heard. And
so still not quite at the 4:30 pace anymore, but we're still looking at in the 2:40s. Would you say, Bash? 4:40s, sorry.
4:40s, yeah. 4:40s, I would expect. 600 to go now.
Jodie Foster is still pushing her pace. The Lily Rimmer trying to stay with her. Seems to be a little bit too much of the pace for Ruby Gilmartin at the moment, and potentially the 2 Ballymena and Antrim athletes might be trying to pick her off for the bronze medal.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a race for the bronze, I expect. The girl in 4th is rolling along quite nicely.
Although, of course, we do have a second heat for this as well, so the times will have to be put across. I believe these are the faster seeded girls in this race. 1 lap to go, 3:38 for 1100 metres.
I think around about 4:53.
So, what do you think the last lap's going to be?
I'm suggesting 75-ish. She's looking lively enough at the front. And that battle for bronze is definitely on.
So Aisling Smith of Ballymena and Antrim has moved into the bronze. Ruby Gilmartin seems determined to stay with her. Just hang on her coattails and hope she's got a quick finish. Jodie Foster still trying to pull away and has probably a 15-metre gap now.
And I would say silver isn't assured yet. The girl in third is looking very, very lively.
Yeah, Aisling Smith, I believe it is running herself into almost into silver here. It's going to be a fast last 200 metres. Yep, Aisling Smith has moved into second indeed. She'll even give a go to running down Jodie Foster.
This isn't over yet, is it? It's a heck of a finish here.
Remember, it's all about times, positions, not necessarily relevant.
Jodie Foster looks like she's done enough despite the impressive finish from Aisling Smith. Finishing very strong indeed, and they're just about breaking 5 minutes with 4:59.06 on the clock. And Lily Rimmer has come to take third, with Ruby Gilmartin, the early leader, in fourth.
4:59.06 is going to be the time to beat for the gold medal.
And just finishing off last couple of people in this first race. And I often think these people are the ones that have worked the hardest because they've been out there the longest. And rightly so, they're getting a quality round of applause. So the race two has seen what race one got to offer, and 4:59 it is. So it'll be interesting to see whether they race it as a race or they do it as a time trial to beat the time.
And closing off race as well, so we're probably looking at what, a gap of 5 seconds to the bronze? Didn't put a
5 seconds.
Yeah, so to get in the medals, we're probably talking 5:05 or something to that effect to have a chance.
Absolutely, but I'm sure come the final 200 they'll be going hell for leather.
So I believe we've got everybody in this second heat of the girls under 14. So Kyle-Ann Curran, Darcy of North Belfast Harriers, Darcy Monaghan, Lagan Valley, Anna Broderick, City of Lisburn, Rebecca Ross, Ballymena and Antrim, Lauren Miney, Anna Lee, Sophie McCormick, Ballymena and Antrim, Rebecca Moore of City of Lisburn, Mia Fletcher of Cranford AC, and Rebecca Laffin of Northdown AC. Another good start for this second time trial. They look to be going out not quite as hard, which is probably maybe a slightly more sensible pace.
Yeah, no, about 16 seconds again.
Oh, same again.
Lively to the first 100 and then settle down around the bend.
The girls may have had the chance to see what time was posted by the first heat, so they might know if they want to get in on the medals. The pace is going to have to be relatively fierce.
And on even paced splits, that's going to turn out at around about 80 seconds, just under, to break 5 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how these girls go.
Seems to be Rebecca Moore that's taking this one on from City of Lisburn. Be interesting to see how her 400 and 800 splits compare.
Yeah, the first 300 compared pretty well with the first race. Just going through 300 in around about 53. Coming up to 400 now. At 72, 73, yeah, still quite similar.
So perhaps a 1 second down on the opening lap. Looks like at the moment she's going to have to do all the work herself, not as competitive as the previous race.
Yeah, interesting to see whether a more even pace is going to pay off. Sometimes slow at the beginning can pay off dividends at the end, but we will see.
So if she's going through in 2:36, then we'll know she's in the mix at 800 metres.
Also runner up in the 800 metres. It's all going form at the moment. And the peloton is led by Darcy Monaghan and Megan Valley, and a great high K down well recently, 21:40.
Two laps to go, and we've got one out in front, two battling for second and third.
Just behind Darcy is Anna Broderick.
I think we've got Mia Fletcher seems to be in second, as well as the Annalee athlete Lauren Miney.
So they're going through 800 now. The leader goes through in 2:38, 2:39. Second and third going through in 2:42, 2:43, and the chasing group just coming through 800 now in around about 2:46, 2:47.
So Rebecca Moore leads, and these
But
two
I'm sure this is going to
shoulder
speed up towards the end. I always think it's interesting to see how some people run the whole of the race in the second lane and perhaps run an extra 4 or 5 seconds at the end of the distance.
5:46.
But there's fairly healthy gaps between first, second and third, and towards fourth and fifth now, probably about 20 metres. And again, there's very little breeze here, so this could be a great opportunity for some of these athletes to get a personal best, which is a great way to end the season. And it's a brief season, I know, but a season all the same.
So coming up to 1 lap to go for Rebecca Moore, who won the 800 metre title a number of weeks ago. She's got a 30 metre gap or so from the Cranford and Annalee athletes.
It's still the City of Lisburn athlete, Rebecca Moore, who leads. So nothing to choose between Lauren Miney and Anna Lee and Mia Fletcher.
So to get the gold now, this leader has got to run around about 74 seconds for the final 400 to be chasing the gold. And she's led from the start, so this is a heck of a performance. And now the second and third places are starting to split up, and the girl who's running in lane 2 is now dropped back to 3 or third with 200 to go. Driving forwards to this finishing line now. Just approaching the final 100.
In this second of the 2 time trials.
And she's picking up again. This is a great race.
The time of Jodie Foster, but definitely in the chance of the medals.
Rebecca Moore, City of Lisbon, just outside, 5:06.
5:06, so it's going to be close for that medal spot. We'll have to wait and see. We estimated 5:05, but that was a guesswork. So
I think the medals are going to come from the first race. We've just got the last 2 or 3 finishing in this race too. And again,
the winning time there, 5:06:30 unofficially.
5:06:30. You may have just heard that on the PA. But the races compared very well, race 1 and race 2. So whoever did the seeding did a great job there. So the next race up due at 7:11 is the under 14 boys.
I'm waiting patiently to present the medals.
Okay, the under 14s are doing their final preparations. The starters are just getting ready to roll. And I think we've just got 1 race in this one, Tom. And I'm looking at the those that are registered. We've got Max Reed from North Belfast. We have Charlie Rahill from St Michael's in Enniskillen. Finley Main from Lockview. Daniel McCloman, Ballymena and Antrim. Colin McFadden from Cranford and Tiernan McManus from Enniskillen, who are just lining up ready to give their best
So
shot
the first semi-final win for
and get on the
Ulster
podium.
4 minutes 59.09, which is a personal best by over 20 seconds. Second was Ashleen Smith, also in a big PB of 4:59.94. And third, Lily Rimmer. She keeps the things going, another 20-odd plus second PB of 5 minutes 3:24. So obviously conditions in great, and these young ladies have been putting the work in during the lockdown. Fourth was Ruby Martin and Lee, 5:08.44.
Under 14 boys on the starters orders. And they're off. Interesting to compare the 100 metre splits for the under 14 boys. They look a little bit more contained.
14 boys final gets underway, just the one race.
Yeah, 16-17, pretty similar. It'll be interesting to see if the finishing times are similar as well. So the under 14 girls have just been presented with their medals on the podium as the under 14 boys come through to complete their first 300.
So to choose as they approach the end of the first two quarter of the line.
And again, we've got somebody in lane 3 there. Wow.
The black vest of Lockview.
And starting off very cagey, which is why we're seeing them in out in lane 3, just too close to the leader. Ready for any quick changes in pace.
Came through that mud and Dundonald to
474, a little slower than the previous race, but I'm sure this one's going to get faster. Very cagey affair at the moment.
So there, Daniel McLaurin of Ballymena and Antrim. Third in the 800 metres and third in the...
Certainly a more tightly packed race in this one.
Yeah, they're going for the tactical finish, I'm sure.
Definitely has the look of a race that's going to start relatively well and finish even better.
Yeah, it's going to keep the spectators on the feet, I'm sure. A few parents shouting words of encouragement and positivity, as they usually do. And I'm forgetting about the coaches, of course, who do a great job, all the volunteers that get these guys out onto the track. And what a great job they've done. Coming up to 2 laps to go. There's nothing between the first 6.
From St Michael's and Skillen.
I think somebody's getting itchy feet. It's looking very... it's a test of patience. It's almost like a game of chess watching these lads. And about 2:34 at 800.
What's your predicted time based off?
Put me on the spot now. I know they're going to run a fast last lap, so I'm going to say 4:55 at this stage.
Well, it sounds like that'll be putting on some good performances. The PBs we've got down here are 2 in this field have run 5:03, 5:08, so it sounds like they're tracking well towards personal bests.
Yeah, it certainly does, and as we said earlier, it's a great night for it. Perfect for the middle distance runners. Cool, around about 16, 17 degrees, and very little wind.
Metaphorically, of course, by Finlay Main. Winner the Stormont, Bangor, Dundonald cross countries last year. The fastest time on paper 5:03.85.
So with a lap to go, it seems to be between
3:35.
Finlay Main, who's sitting in second
and somebody's
position.
taken off. Yeah,
Yeah, it seems to be Caelan McFadden of Cranford that's taken off
I think
very
I'm going to
fast.
go for 4:45 the way he's taken off. I think he's looking good for a 70-second last lap. My goodness, he's really torn this field apart. So I think he could throw a blanket over them about 30 seconds ago.
Certainly nice change in pace. He's still not showing any sign of slowing up. He's saving his reserve for the last lap and he's really gone for it. Finley Main still holding on to silver at the moment, and Ballymena, an Antrim athlete, is fighting for silver at the moment.
Very impressive.
That
These
must
are
be
on here,
Daniel
the
McLornan.
man from way up there in Cranford, up on the top of that Donegal Peninsula.
He's looking very comfortable as he marches down the home straight
Over the country.
with a wry smile on his face.
Replicating that.
It's a heck of a race for silver though. So he's just coming through the line.
Very impressive 4:42.
That was a 67 last lap. That's very impressive.
PBs all around here.
Very impressive. I think it's going to be PBs all round.
In 4:48 and 4:49.
So Finley Main in second there had a PB of 5:03, but that's good. 15 seconds off that.
First 6 have broken 5 minutes comfortably there.
Good bit of even pace running, and then
It was a hell of a burn up
pick
that.
at the
Yeah,
last lap.
67s. We did that pace all the way being 4:11. And I think he could have gone faster still if he'd have been pushed a bit more. And here we've got final finisher just going over the line. Great job. And then they're off marching towards the podium to pick up their medals, their hard-earned medals. And I can see that on the far side, somebody else is just lining up.
Yep, so we've got the first of 2 races in the under 15 girls. So race 1 seems to have Hannah Wade of City of Derry Spartans, Elsa Moore of Lifford Strabane, Lucy Foster, older sister of Jodie that we saw in one of the previous races from Willowfield, Leah Horan of North Belfast, a bit of a multi-eventer herself, Ellie Robinson of O'Mahara's, and last year's under 14 champion Anna Gardner of East Down. So it could be a pretty close one between Lucy Foster, who has a PB of 4:56, and Anna Gardner, who I believe has run something similar.
So as we saw in that last race, they may have started slower than the under 14 girls, but they certainly finished an awful lot faster.
Takes the lead. This time Lucy Foster in the Willowfield colours.
Under 15 girls
Looks like Elsa Moore of Lifford
going through in
Strabane too.
16, 17 seconds on that first 100, just to get an idea of how they're starting in comparison to the previous events. I think pacing is so important for these youngsters as well, because if you get it right, as I say, it can be a far more pleasurable experience. You get it wrong, and I can imagine 1 or 2 people wanting to move down in distance.
Third place is Eva Downey.
As we saw with the youngster who got it right in the last race, absolutely marvellous finish, and I'm sure he enjoyed that thoroughly. We certainly did as spectators anyway.
Group Anna Gardner, bronze medalist from the indoor 800 metres, and 1500 metre champion from last year in the under 14s. And the East Down vest.
So I think we may have missed out Ava Downey on the start list there. She is sitting in 4th place at the moment. Another impressive runner this year. Certainly ran very good 800 metres to below 220. So she will hopefully be wanting to sit in and then take the race on when there's not too many laps to go.
There's just 4 of them fighting for the 3 medals at the moment. They're all looking lively enough. But then I guess after 2 minutes of a 4 or 5 minute race, you'd like to think that they are all lively. So this looks like Willowfield in the lead. Nope, the lead's changed. Is that City of Lisbon?
Ava Downey for City of Lisbon has taken the lead. Lucy Foster is sticking in there.
It's Eva Downey who's now taking up the running.
Elsa Moore for Lifford Strabane.
Eva's personal best 5:42.
It's actually 2 more laps to go in this race. There's 2 more laps to go in this race. There was an error there.
Lucy Foster in second, the best of 4:56.
He's just rang the bell, he's got that wrong.
And then Lifford Strabane in third.
The bell,
Elsa Moore.
the bell early.
Gardner in fourth.
He's down there. Which one shouts at Easter time? I know him, but I don't know his name. John! 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 Shoot laps! Bell lap is now. Look at the time. Look at the time.
Coming up to the bell.
Coming up to the bell now.
Unfortunately, we've lost one, but it's Lucy Foster. Keep going, Lucy. The bell needs one to go.
And they're going on this final lap now.
Third.
Okay, we're on the final lap now, and it looks like it's Willowfield in the lead. Coming up to the final 200. I think we're going to be breaking 5 minutes here comfortably.
Lucy Foster,
and there's a strong finish from second place here.
800 metre indoor champion, runner up in the Ulster Schools cross country. Remember, this is just a time trial.
Lucy Foster currently leading, but it's 378, who is Elsa Moore, who's coming on strong.
And that's a heck of a finish.
Close to call there. I think
4:48.
Lucy may have just held on to that.
Another impressive personal best, 4:48.19.
And just coming through for third place
Very
now
close.
in 5:02.
Third.
So the winning time there is 4:48.19.
Very impressive run, very impressive time considering the confusion there in the middle. Very unfortunate.
But I think really at this stage, 3 3/4 laps, I'd like to think that we all know how many we've got, and we can pace ourselves accordingly. Just North Belfast athlete coming through the line there.
It's Leah Horan, the
well under 6.
multi-eventer. She medalled at the high jump 2 weeks ago. So
Excellent.
giving her some strength if she ever is going to do combined events. So we're seeing a replay of the last 100 there. Lucy Foster's put herself in a very good position with 1400. But a very strong finish from Elsa Moore of Lifford Strabane. And can we pick it from here? Oof.
I think looking at that body language, I think the leader there thought she'd
So
won
the
it.
under
And
16
eased off.
boys, it looks like we only have 11 competitors, so that will now go as one race.
Okay, the under starters orders, and the athletes coming up for this one. I believe it's Thomas McCusker from Lockview.
No, it's one above. It's this one.
Oh, sorry. Just get the starter and they're off. I'm sorry, I've got the wrong race there. Okay, these girls have just set off. And 13 seconds into it, and they're going through the first 100 in.
Yeah, so this
17
is
seconds.
race 2 of the under 15 girls, so they'll be looking at 4:48 if they want to get in on the first and second position. Did we get a time for third?
I think it was 4:48. I think it was 4:48.
For first and second?
No, for third. First and second were 4:48. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure what the third position might be, but certainly to get into this gold or silver. Going to need a very impressive 4:48. We have got Ava Mahaffey from City of Lisburn, Hannah Leach of Ballymena and Antrim. Leading at the moment is Fern Duffy of Shercock AC. Lucy Cheatley of North Down is in here with Lauren Taylor of Lockview AC. Mac Eager of North Down AC completes the lineup.
Just gone through 400 there in about 74-75 seconds.
So
And
still a fairly competitive pace.
yeah, it's always interesting to look at their cadence and their body language and how hard they're working. But there's a long way to go yet, and I wouldn't know who to put my money on at this stage. Sometimes there is a bit of safety in numbers.
Leads from Lucy Cheatley of North Down.
But certainly our leader looks comfortable enough at the moment.
Yep, Fern Duffy coming through to 700 metres with about a 10-metre lead from Lucy Cheatley of North Down. And then we've got three athletes about 10 metres behind as well.
Hannah Leach of Ballymena and Antrim. And the second North Down girl, Mac Eager.
And coming up to 800 now, and our leader goes through in 2:37. Second place 2:40, 2:42,
Fifth in the Ulster Schools cross
and
country.
that's the first five. So there's some fairly healthy gaps between first, second and third there, but there's still 600 metres to go. And there's a lot that could happen, as we saw in the last couple of races.
Heat's starting to string out a little bit. Still the top five pulled well away. Fern Duffy's extending her lead to more like 30 metres now. Lucy Cheatley not Okay, that pause will give me a chance to complete the lineup. We've got Jake Farnan of Ballymea and Antrim, Lewis Cole of City of Derry Spartans, Frank Buchanan of Enniskillen, Oliver Robinson of Eastdown, and Oisin McGloin of City of Lisburn.
And they're off. It's a lively start. And we've got a healthy field in this, so hopefully everybody will have somebody to race against. And that's the important thing to remember, that in these endurance races, quite often there is a race within a race. So we often think of winners, but quite often it could be the best races for third and fourth or whatever.
The early leader is Finn Diver of Beachmount Hires. He was the under 14 boys champion last year, and from what I can see, has the fastest personal best of 4:47.
Third, Anna Gardner, 5:02.56.
Tell me a man of information. A man is a computer. Okay, they've slowed a good bit now coming down this home straight. They started fast, but they've definitely slowed a wee bit. Just going through 309, around about 54, 55 seconds. I'm sure they'll speed up. Not a lot in it. They're all just gathering themselves, planning, thinking as they go through 474.
That's the kind of pace that I would have coped with for a little bit. I'm sure these boys are capable of a lot more.
Yeah, that's my kind of pace these days. On a good day. That works out at 5 minute mile, you know. But I'm sure you know that.
So no need necessarily for fast times. A tactical race, everybody very well together.
Yeah, very tactical.
They've run
Everybody's eyeballing each other,
600 meters.
thinking how it's going to play out.
Yeah, they're looking very comfortable, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I always think to myself, you know, showing to our viewers, what would they do in this situation? What would their best tactic be?
It's Finn Diver of Beachmount, runner of the Ulster Schools cross country.
And again, those in lane 2 running a good bit further than the one on the inside lane. 2 laps to go, and still
Oisin McGloin,
most of the field together.
Yeah.
City of Lisburn, ran a PB in the 800 here on the 3rd of August in the City of Lisburn meet.
Starting to pick up a little bit of cadence as we move to 800.
Yeah, it's creeping up in 2:35 at 800. But again, I'm sure this is going to speed up an awful lot in the next 300 or 400 metres.
Yeah. It's going to be a very close one as we come into a lap and a half to go. Someone's going to have to make a move at some stage.
And who's it going to be? Yeah, I think there's been a variety of leaders in this race so far, and they're still umming and ahhing about it, gathering themselves now. 500 to go.
Presentation podium.
So Frank Buchanan and Finn Diver taking the lead at the moment. Who's going to go for it, and when are they going to go?
There's still 7 people vying for the medals here. Lap to go in 3:33.
Louis Cole also is moving into the top
They're
3.
going to get the fastest time of the night now.
Still cagey, no one's taken it on yet.
7 runners could take this title. One Phoenix Vance moving up on the outside.
You can see them thinking about it.
Who's got the strength to finish? That's the thing. That's what's going to decide the medals. There's still 7 there in with a chance.
Now they're getting itchy. Now they're getting twitchy.
200 meters to go. Still anybody's race.
Okay, they've done 200 reps. What they're going to do now?
Finn Diver working his way up.
Our body language is starting to suggest a couple of them are tiring off the back of that.
Good luck to the judges before the finish on this one.
Number 393 is pulling away. That's Ben Warnick of Monaghan Phoenix.
Oh,
he seems to have
picking
taken
up
this
now.
on.
He's gone for it.
Excellent sprint
And
mechanics.
he's opened up
Looks to be
significantly.
the fastest of the sprinters. Runner up in the indoor 800 meters.
It's going to be a real fight for the medals.
Oh,
I believe that on the judges, possibly Frank Buchanan.
That was,
getting
Frank
second
Buchanan,
for
I think, took
Australia.
silver, and I think third was City of Lisburn,
0-3.
who was Oisin McGloin. Excellent race, very, very strong last 200,
outstanding
150.
finish. I think that might be the fastest race of the night, just marginally faster than the earlier race that was running 4:42 as well.
So as you can see, the replay there, that extremely fast burst from Ben Warnick, Monaghan Phoenix, that just, yeah, really moved away with 100 to go. With ease, to be honest. What would you say a man like with that finish is capable of running?
Well, the way he finished there, I think he's got a good 10, if not 15 seconds faster on a evenly paced race with a bit more company. But that was a great race for second and third there. And again, it's always interesting to look at their techniques as they just close in. But sometimes it's perseverance and bloody-mindedness that gets you there rather than technique. And that's not a bad thing either. Our next race, they're coming thick and fast. I think it's the under 16 girls. I'm just checking who we've got in this field. As the floodlights start to light up the track.
Ready for the under 16 girls final. One race.
I think I can see 8 people there. How many's listed?
Yep, so I think we've got 8 for the under 16 girls final. This is potentially going to be an absolute cracker. We've got Katie McCleary, City of Lisburn, Blanid Lochran from Beachmount Harriers, Emmy Thornton, Willowfield Harriers, Hazel Hughes of Shercock AC, Alice Monaghan of Lagan Valley AC, Kirsty Foster of Willowfield Harriers, the eldest of the Foster sisters, Ella Latsuke of City of Lisburn, and Lauren Medine of East Down AC. Some very strong runners in this one. It's going to be interesting to see whether they take it out fast or it's tactical.
Okay, the under 16 girls are off. Steaming down the back straight. So sort their positions out. Going into the bend.
So fastest on paper, Kirsty Foster takes it out from the start. Kirsty hasn't raced a great deal this summer. Picked up a small injury earlier on in the summer, but she seems to be confident and taking this on well. Lauren Medine, who is the under 15 girls champion from last year and has a PB about 5 seconds behind, is taking up second at the moment.
This time it's the older sister, Kirsty. She's followed by Lauren Medine of East Down.
So the Foster sisters are to the fore again.
We then have Emmy Thornton and Katie McCleary in third and fourth at the moment.
I think
of the City of Lisburn.
most of the races have started off with a 16-second first 100, but this one has actually continued with a good pace, going through 400 now in about 70 seconds. That's comfortably the fastest of the night.
Very, very fast start. Are these girls going to be able to hold on to this pace? If they are, there's going to be substantial PBs all around, which would be great to see.
And I expect this one's going to slow because I'll be surprised if she keeps that pace going, because that'll be a 4:22 pace, 70 seconds all the way. But they've settled. There's 2 to the front and 2 fighting for bronze there.
Yeah, that's Emmy Thornton and Katie McCleary are in third and fourth at the moment still. There's not much between any of the top 6, to be honest. They're all
Pace seems to be settling now, and the third and fourth are closing in on the 2 leaders.
Lucy Foster, Lauren Medine, and Emmy Thornton, Katie McCleary, last year's silver medalist. Hazel Hughes of Shercock moving up ahead of Ella Tuska. And it's Alice Monaghan of Lagan Valley. as a regular winner at these.
So they're going through in pairs at the moment.
Scramblers
1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together. 5 and 6 is just
Fastest
breaking up.
800 of the night, about
Definitely.
2:29.
Yeah, still the
Another
fastest
knocker of
race of the night at the moment. As Tom just said, around about 2:29, 2:30. Approaching 600, and I still don't think the first two have got away yet.
Now, a lot of work being put in by Kirsty Foster. Lauren Medine just sitting right on the back. She's probably hoping that she will be able to kick in the last lap and get past. It'll be very interesting to see. Emmy Thornton seems to be making an effort to try and catch that leading group. Katie McCleary still within touching distance in 4th place.
Yeah, just slow splintering there.
Kirsty Foster and Lauren Medine.
And what does the body language tell us here as we
Emmy Thornton will field with 2 in the first
come down
three.
the home straight for the
Katie
final, the penultimate time? Now it's going to be the bell.
Go through the
3:30 at the bell.
1 lap to go. Lauren Medine still sitting on Kirsty Foster. It's going to be a very interesting finish. Emmy Thornton is on her own in 3rd at the moment, with Katie Cleary about 10 metres behind.
The head waiter in 2nd place at the moment. Will the head waiter prevail, as is often the case? 350 going into the final 300. And still the waiter waits.
So making a big effort down the back straight there. Hazel Hughes of Shercock has moved herself up into 4th place. 200 metres
Hazel
to go.
Hughes of
So
Shercock's making a run for the medals.
Kirsty Foster.
Looks
bronze.
like she
Lauren
could
Medine.
be potentially getting towards bronze if Emmy Thornton maintains her current pace.
It's a fast finish by the 4th placed runner at the moment, just coming through.
100 metres to go.
Into the last 100, who's it going to be? Is it going to be
Kirsty
Kirsty
Foster,
Foster or Lauren
Lauren
Medine?
Medine.
Lauren Medine's putting her
And
pace
the head
on,
waiter comes
picks up
through.
the cadence. Very impressive.
Down the home straight.
It's a strong finish. It's a great time. 4:40, 4:41, fastest time of the night.
Could be personal best for both girls, and Emmy
That
Thornton
was a
for
great
3rd
comeback
place.
for the bronze there.
Very strong finish by Hazel
Excellent,
Hughes.
excellent race. Very exciting. We thought it would be an exciting race, and it's proven to be even more exciting than we thought.
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of ding-dong battles there.
Will almost definitely be PBs all round for the first 3 there. So I think we'll see a replay here, the last 50. Yeah, Lauren Medine has really picked up her pace and kind of went away. But I think
And
Kirsty,
likewise,
Kirsty,
third and
Fo-
fourth. I'm sorry, I missed that, Tom.
I can say I think Kirsty should be quite happy with that, running a PB when she's not had that many racing opportunities. So I think all 3 girls have run PBs there, I believe, and should be quite happy with that.
That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And hopefully they've been addressing their fitness needs over the summer. And as you've said, there's lots of PBs going out, so I'm sure the coaches have done a great job bringing them to a nice peak for this championship.
And that will have certainly been first time sub 5 minutes for Emmy Thornton if the stats are to be believed. So we're getting a few comments on the message board here. The first one was to call Bashir a true gentleman. I would totally agree, and I very poorly didn't introduce myself. Tom Reynolds, Athletics NI Athlete Development Lead, and this is my first time doing some commentary, and it's been good fun so far, but please don't criticise me too badly. More of a stats and coaching man, but it's good to diversify, especially when it's not too bad an evening to watch the exciting races. And the True Gentleman Bashir is back from his little break there. We were just saying there was a man saying that you were a true gent, and he's glad to see you on the, or hear you on the commentary.
Whoever it was.
It was Glenn Grant.
I've just seen somebody down below as well that I've just been chatting to who's been listening to me. Hopefully I've made good sense so far.
So it looks like we've got the under 16 boys, 1500 metres. This is due to be 2 races. Although numbers I'm seeing here might suggest it's potentially a straight final. I think this looks like it is indeed being run as a straight final, the under 16 boys. Looking at the numbers at the start line there versus what we've got on our start lists. So I think we have Cade McLaren, Lagan Valley AC, Charlie Curley, Mid Ulster AC, Cathal O'Donnell, Tyrconnell AC, Dermot Hanna, Ballymena Antrim, Caelan O'Hare, Three Ways AC, who was the under 15 boys champion last year. Seems to have the fastest time in the field of 4:17. Seamus Robinson of City of Derry Spartans. Evan Stanley of St Malachy's AC, Kyle Thompson of Lockview AC. Luga Malin, Lagan Valley AC, Ryan Linus, North Down AC, Christopher Duncan, City of Lisburn AC.
So the winner Ben Warnock of Phoenix 4:42.03, second Frank Buchanan of Enniskillen 4:43.04, third Oisin McGloin, City of Lisburn.
And this is looking lively at the front as they go through the first 100 in 15 seconds, fastest of the night. And I'm sure it'll settle a bit round the bend.
200 for the second outside the medals. The results, by the way, are being, as far as I know, tweeted on the Athletics Northern Ireland Twitter site, and the results will be up on the website.
And there's still about a good 10 athletes in this as they approach the 3 laps to go sign in around about 49 seconds.
So it looks like a Lockview athlete, Kyle Thompson, leading at the moment.
City of Derry leading.
And City of Derry has just gone past. Who is that?
They go through in 66.
Seamus Robinson, I believe.
I just heard that, it's around about 67 at 400. And now there's 2 of them that have detached themselves from the rest of the group. As I think we said earlier, 67 equates to around about 4:11, so it'll be interesting to see if this is maintained.
There we've got Flynn.
And our leader is edging ahead.
The leader, Seamus Robinson of the City of Derry.
So it's a City of Derry athlete.
Yeah, Seamus Robinson of City of Derry is leading at the moment from Lockview, the Lockview athlete. Kyle Thompson in second at the moment.
Chester, the second of the City of Derry men. And it's Louis Mallon of Lagan Valley, the Ulster Schools Junior Cross Country Champion.
Just coming through 800 now in around about 2:13, 2:14. So he's maintaining that pace. And he's looking comfortable enough with it as well. And the battle for second and third is very much on. I'd say there's still 5 people in that race for second, with 600 metres to go. But we've got a comfortable leader from the City of Derry. 334 that I've actually not got on my list.
Seamus Robinson from Caelan O'Hare 3 ways. The runner up the under 17 1500 metre indoors.
Hitting the bell. 304.
Seamus Robinson with a lead of maybe 40 metres there.
Faster than that.
And I believe it's the 3 ways athlete Caelan O'Hare in silver at the moment. But there's quite a push on for the medals. There's potentially 5 athletes in contention for the silver and the bronze.
Moving up to challenge for fourth, but
Seamus Robinson way out in the lead, maybe a 50-metre lead now. Seems to be maintaining his speed.
So it looks like he's got a comfortable 40-metre lead there.
And it looks as if there's no doubt about the winner, Seamus Robinson of the City of Derry Spartans.
Seamus Robinson's just clicking over to 4 minutes. He's got a PB on down here is 4:19. He's going to be way inside that if that is indeed his correct personal best. Is he going to break 4:10? Not quite.
And bang on it was.
4:11. Well predicted, Bash.
Second place coming through there in round about 4:17 and 4:18, 4:19, 4:20, 4:21 there.
So that was Caelan O'Hare from 3 ways, last year's champion in the age group below, taking silver medal. And in third place it was Cathal O'Donnell of Tyrconnell for third place.
And still finishing comfortably under 5 minutes here. But yeah, that was almost 30 seconds faster than anything else we've seen so far tonight. And then just finishing down the line now, I think we've got local guys from Lagan Valley and City of Lisbon. Lockview. Rebecca Rossiter from Lockview. And Louise Deary from Enniskillen. These girls are just getting ready to kick off their final for the 1500 metre race. I'll just check my timetable and let you know that that's due off at 7 minutes past 8. So that looks like we've got a good 5 minutes going off my watch. So just recapping what we've had in the meantime, we had the under 14 girls A race was won in 4:59. The under 14 girls B race was won in 5:06. The under 14 boys was won in 4:42. Under 15 girls A race, that was run in 4:48. Under 15 girls B race was won in 4:59. Under 15 boys race was won in 4:42. Under 16 girls race was won in 4:41.61. And the combined under 16 boys race was just won in the fastest time of the night, which was 4 minutes and 11, and probably the most evenly paced race all night. It was pretty much 67s all the way. So that was a testament to the fact that even paced running will get you faster times. And again, I think he ran around about 67 or 68 for the final lap. So the weather here is still perfect for middle distance races. Very little breeze, nice cool evening, and about, I would imagine it's somewhere between about 13 and 16 degrees right now. And the girls are just doing the final strides on the back straight as they get ready for their race that's due off at 7 minutes past 8. And the reason that we're having to wait a little is the combined, that last race of under 16 boys, it was down as 2 races, but they combined the A and B race into 1, and I think it was well worth doing that because it was quite a good race. As I say, it started a bit faster, and the quality of pacing was a bit faster, but we should expect that as we go up the age groups. The athletes have had more experience running the races, and invariably they'll be better at pacing themselves. So just looking at the field we've got lined up, we've got last year's winner, Catherine Martin, defending her title. Oh, sorry, the under 16 title she won last year. She's back to try and challenge for the under 17 girls. I expect that'll be with most of the same girls that are on the start line tonight. Fastest times I've got listed here, we've got probably Catherine Martin, although I do know that Amy Green has had a lively cross-country season from Rose's AC, so it'll be interesting to see how this group of athletes come out of their lockdown to perform tonight. Okay, I think the starter is just about getting them under their orders, and they're off. Okay, it looks like a steady start from here. So they're settling before they first reach the first 100 in around about 16 or 17 seconds.
Bronze medalist in the 800 metres earlier this year, with the Ulster schools.
It's looking tactical around this first bend, nobody's in a hurry.
Settles back into the pack.
So picking out the athletes from this is really just a case of my best recognition here. I can see North Down, which would be Tori Galloway.
I think we do indeed have Tara McDonough in this race.
this year. The Ulster Schools champion.
I initially failed to mention that because I saw a line through her name.
Northern Ireland and Irish cross country.
Okay, they're approaching 400 in round about 77, 78 seconds.
Challenge for the lead.
Yeah, it's Tara McDonough that is in the race. Tori Galloway of Northdown isn't in the race.
That's Kira Doherty, Rebecca Rossiter, Catherine Martin.
So I think we said 78 seconds through the first lap, and I think that probably equates to around about 4:50 on a good day. And if they speed it up, probably a good piece faster than that as well. And I think some of these girls are well capable of that. As somebody injects a little bit of pace and splinters the group.
Rebecca Rossiter now taking up the running.
So the other Lockview athlete, Rebecca Rossiter, taking the lead now with her teammate Catherine Martin in second place as they go through 700 metres.
Credentials over the country, winner at the Stormont, so it's Lockview now 1 and 2. Rebecca Rossiter from Catherine Martin.
Lockview 1 and 2.
Fifth in the indoor championships.
So Claire Doherty, Olympian Youth, in third with Northdown's Tara McDonough just behind her. 2:37 through 800.
Yeah, that's still on for about 4:50 pace. Splintering a bit there. 1 and 2 look settled, but third and fourth is definitely a battle there as the Northdown girl pushes on.
Tara McDonough moves up into third place.
Tara McDonough, who has a best of 4:55 listed here. And I think they're approaching the final 500 now, with some comfortable gaps between 1, 2, 3 and third. He's just getting ahead.
Rebecca Rossiter, Catherine Martin.
20 metres between most of these now. 3:32 at the bell.
3:32.
Okay, let's see who can turn it on this last lap. And I think really to bridge any of these gaps, they're going to have to put a differential of perhaps 4 or 5 seconds to catch the people in front of them.
So Rebecca Rossiter, who's leading at the moment, has a 1500 metres personal best, from what I can see on the power of 10, of 5:08. She's going to be well on for destroying that.
Yeah, I think they've got 10 seconds going off that tonight.
Yeah, obviously done some very good training over the lockdown period.
Indoor and outdoor bests.
Yeah, these medals, I would say they're pretty well decided. I don't like to say that, but I'd be shocked if fourth place is going to get a 4-second differential in the final 200.
Yeah, as come into the last 100, it looks like Rebecca Rossiter going to rewrite her personal bests substantially, with training partner Catherine Martin in second and Tara McDonough for Northdown looking likely taking the bronze.
Oh, that's massive.
4:44.16 for the win. Huge personal best.
And 4:50 for second place. And 4:56 for third.
Second and third, not too far away from their PBs by the looks of things.
I think the first three could have got PBs there. But I may be wrong. Not
4:49 would have been Catherine Martin's PB.
It may just have been. Again, as a few of our athletes are still finishing, and as I say, probably the ones who've worked the hardest tonight, because they've been out on the track the longest, so they've put in the longest shift of work. But I'm sure with training and experience, they'll start moving up the field, dropping the time. Hopefully, wasn't a pacing problem for these athletes, but if it was, well, I'm sure they'll have learnt something tonight. But it's a beautiful night for middle.
this coronavirus.
What do you think? Do you think it's
finally
three
comes
shredded
to
wheat?
an end? Will we
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
see their
Yes.
videos
Quality
and
diet.
sore elbows?
3 shredded wheat. I must admit, it's one of my favourite breakfasts. What about you, Tom? What's your favourite breakfast?
Porridge. Porridge with peanut butter.
That's an interesting one, porridge, eh? That's definitely the modern trend. I think 30, 40 years ago, everybody was into the Weetabix or the shredded wheat, Rice Krispies. But these days, I think most athletes are on the porridge, aren't they?
I don't know. I eat it because I like it.
And why not? It's a great meal. Slow release, energy, perfect for athletes. Talking of perfect for athletes, a cup of tea is yeah. It's definitely time of the day when you get a few eyes in your flies in your eyes running on the towpath. So I'm often in my sunglasses or safety glasses if it's dark. That's a great towpath. Have you been up on that towpath recently?
No. The last time I think I ran on that towpath, I had an unfortunate accident with a cyclist.
Yeah.
We both came off pretty badly, so yeah, I think that was the last time.
Wow. Yeah, it can be a bit tricky. I think some of those cyclists get carried away. But then I've seen a few runners steaming along there as well.
Yeah, I think we were both at fault. It was a bit slippy. He tried to swerve and yeah, got knocked into a nettle bush. That was delightful.
Yeah, I'm always wary about travelling on there, whether I'm cycling or running.
I think it just taught me stick to what I know, stick to the short stuff. Don't try and do these half marathons or middle distance.
The starter's got them under orders, and these guys are just about ready to roll. And as Tom said, looks like we've got them all in this one race.
So in addition to the first race that we've read out, we may well have Oisin Kelly of Cranford, Ronan O'Hanlon of Armagh, Fergus McGrady of Lagan Valley, Joel Chambers, Willowfield Harriers will probably be in contention. PB of 4:14 this year.
Luke Kelly, early leader from
Hearing Luke Kelly's in the lead.
We've got Nicholas Griggs of Mid-Ulster AC, Evan Keown of Letterkenny AC, Jamie Shanley of Shercock AC, Owen McBrearty, Beachmount Harriers, and Mackenzie Murray of Eastdown AC. It seems to be the North Belfast man who is leading at the moment, Luke Kelly.
Also there, the man from Mid-Ulster, Nicholas Griggs.
With Nicholas Griggs from Mid-Ulster in second at the moment, with the Willowfield contingent sitting in third and fourth at the moment.
Then we have the trio of Lagan Valley runners.
I would say this has started off quite slow, and I'm sure it's going to be a big burn up at some stage unless somebody has got the nous and the tenacity to take off mid-race and break them up. I know back in the day I once or twice experimented with putting in a big surge, 600 out, to catch people by surprise, and particularly if you get caught in the middle of that pack and somebody does take off the front, you could drop 20 or 30 metres quite quickly, and if that's your key competitor, it could make a big difference. But no, there's nothing happening much at the front here. They're all just loping along, just waiting for their moment, and I expect they're all waiting for that final 500, 450 to go moment when they can just get a bit wider on the home straight and take off. But we will see. Yep, they're working hard at going slow at the front, I would argue.
Third in the cross country.
Does indeed, generally looking quite comfortable for the entire field. Not being pushed too far at the moment, but there's clearly going to be fireworks later on.
On the inside for Lagan Valley.
Just look like if somebody's eased it up a little there.
Here's McBrearty for Beachmount.
2:25 at 800. It's around about 4:33 pace.
Nicholas Griggs of Mid-Ulster, I think it is, that's trying to push this on a little bit.
Straight there for Joel Chambers, getting himself into closer contention.
600 to go, and there's a bit of a break on here. Now the difficult thing when you're in second place there is you let him go and hope that you're going to run him down, because sometimes you don't really want to pace make for everybody else.
Starting to take command of this race.
Joel Chambers is easing. And I've seen Joel finish before, he can finish at pace. And the race is on, the chase is on. They're at the bell at 3:16. And I'd say there are 4 in it now. The gold is between 4 of them, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting coming into this last 300. Who's picking up their cadence? Is that Joel Chambers in third?
Stretching, he's stretching. Nicholas Griggs, 200 to go. And he's in 3:45, 30 seconds, will give him 4:15. It's a close one, there's not much in it. It's a waiting. How are you going to adjust your technique to take off here? And he's taken off again.
Oisin Kelly of Cranford in second, but
this is a great
Nicholas
finish.
Griggs.
This is a heck of a last 200. Could be 27 seconds there for the last 200. Wow, that is rolling.
Very strong performance. Don't have any PBs down for him, so I'm not sure if that's a PB, but it was a very strong run. Perhaps not after a slow 800, but very strong run.
Yeah, actually make that probably around about 2.3, 2.4 final 800 there. I seem to recall him going through in 2:09. So yeah, 2.3, 2.4 for the final 800. That was a little bit special.
See our replay there of the last 120 metres. Just a bit of a glance behind him before really hitting hard and pushing away, increasing that cadence. Pretty nice sprint mechanics, have to say.
Yeah.
Doing a good job there.
27 seconds is rolling. Definitely rolling. 4:12.96 1.
The athletes drafting behind each other, possibly sharing the lead as they go along. That tends to be the fastest way. If you can draft effectively behind each other, get some really fast times.
Yeah. I know we once did a training session with some wheelchair athletes a good few years ago, just for a bit of inclusivity and a bit of fun. And we got turned over pretty well by the guy that won it. I forget his name actually, but he did 3:52 for the mile.
Yeah.
He didn't take the lead until about a lap and a half into it, but once he went by, he just went rolling. And you know, I mean, we had that one athlete. His name was Anthony. I can't remember his second name for the life of me. But yes, I think it's something like 3:52, and it lapped quite a few of us.
Yeah. Well, the top wheelchair athletes would break 3 minutes for the 1500, so very quick. I think our top young athlete, Jack Agnew, is not far off breaking 3 minutes. Hopefully that'll happen for him in 2021. But you need a very fast-paced race. Switzerland is where they tend to go and get their fastest times. I think it's a mixture of the best athletes going there, so they can all draft effectively and go really quick, and good conditions, good track. They're very particular about the track surface, the wheelchair athletes. They like Mondo.
Would that be at altitude, Tom?
I do not know. I don't believe so, but
I think normally altitude works against you once you get past 400, doesn't it?
So once again, we've got the same three athletes. Andrew Greer, who finished third with a PB in 100 metres. Sean McCullough from Lecale, and Killian Dunn from Boris O'Kane.
Okay, these usually start a little slower but finish an awful lot faster. And just to compare what they're going through the first 100 in, compares quite well actually, I'd say. There we go, about 17 seconds. But I dare say this is going to pick up in speed.
So it's Killian Dunn who
It could well be the
leads
fastest
1500
1500 tonight.
followed by Andrew Greer and Sean McCulloch.
So at the moment, Andrew Greer and Sean McCulloch sitting back a little bit, letting Killian Dunn set his own pace. Sean McCulloch seems to be making some efforts to catch up.
Quite often you'll see them reach forward just to knock a clip on their wheels, and that's to help them take the bends effectively. And then unclip it when they come onto the home straights as well.
So just outside 60 seconds for the first lap. Sean McCulloch now has moved up into second place. Let's see, Andrew Kane.
I didn't get that 400 split, but it was
I think it was
62
around
I would imagine. 61,
yeah, it was around the
62.
low 60s. They're spread far too far apart for any drafting to be going on, so they're all doing essentially a time trial. Clearly have their own aims of what they want to get from the race, rather than working together.
Yeah,
for-
about 90 seconds at 600 there, so they're still on 3:45 pace here. Whether they're going to speed up at the end, we will see. But it's great conditions here on this Mondo surface, very little wind, and just driving forwards.
Andrew Greer going through in third.
That's 800 in 159 there for the leader.
So the only PB we've got listed is Andrew Greer. He's got a PB of 420. So he's going through 800 in 210, Bash.
210, I will give that a quick crack of my head. I think it's about 404.
Should be on for a PB at this stage anyway, by the looks of things.
Did you say 210?
210 and his PB's 420.
Yeah. I think 405 would be about right if you can
Okay,
maintain
now
it.
we'll get the bell this time.
But yeah, I think a PB is on.
One lap to
Even,
go.
even if he slows a little bit. I think he's well ahead of that.
I know we don't have a great audience tonight due to the coronavirus, but let's get them all in.
245 at the
go,
bell,
Killian
246.
Right about 246,
So if he picks it up, he might make the equivalent of a 4-minute mile.
255.
Andrew Greer is
Going through
he's going to get PB. 3 minutes at the bell.
3 minutes.
I think 410 is very doable. 405 I'm going to stick with actually.
Could he break 4?
He has a bench of 420 at maybe 1500 metres.
It depends. If he's got power at the end, it could happen. It could happen.
He seems to have upped his cadence at the moment. Is it me or is he starting to catch?
I think you're right. He could be chasing second place here.
Sean McCulloch. Killian Dunn, though, is just coming into the home straight.
Yeah.
100 metres to go.
I think he's going to break 345
Here comes
comfortably.
down the home straight. 9 in green for Boris Kane.
He's shown that sprint speed now as he
Normally
comes
say
down the home straight.
342 is an equivalent of a 4-minute mile, and I think he's going to be on that.
Stop on the clock.
Ooh, 343.
343 seems to be the finish. It didn't stop, but that's advantageous for the other two. We
And
can
it is
see
a heck of a
exactly
finish for second place here.
who's going to finish the strongest. I think it might be Andrew.
That's for sure.
Andrew Greer seems to be taking
It is Greer.
second here.
Through the line, and that's a massive PB. 402.
403.
402 for Andrew Greer there. 420, 18-second PB, enormous.
Yeah, well, I was going to say typical sprinter, leaving it to the last 100, but to be fair, he picked up there in the last lap.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. With that PB, and next time he's got to be aiming for sub 4, that's for sure.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Good win though in 3:43 or so for Killian Dunn.
Yeah, 343. I wonder if the senior man can match that. I know Johnny Wan recently ran a 346 on this track, so he's not too far away from that. If there are people around him to push him to that pace tonight, certainly the conditions are perfect. Yeah, it was an interesting wheelchair race. It looked quite routine early on, but Andrew Greer came back and made a heck of a race of it, and came through for an impressive second place.
Last of the age group events.
So it's going to be the under 18 to under 20 men coming next.
9 athletes registered. We'll be getting underway shortly. Conclude the evening with the under 18 and senior women combined and the senior men.
Experience. The older we go up the age group, so invariably the pacemaking tends to be a little bit better, and the finishing tends to be a little bit more fierce and feisty. So looking forward to seeing some fierce, feisty performances in the next event, which they're just about getting ready for.
So it looks like we've got last year's under 18 champion Ryan Miskelly from Lagan Valley, who's got a PB of 3:58, seems to be the fastest in the field. And indeed it seems to be Ryan who's taking out the pace, along with I think it might be Callum Morgan. Yep, seems to be Callum Morgan of St Malachy's at the front, with Ryan Miskelly behind him and Ultan O'Callan behind him.
That's a healthy start, that. 48 seconds at 300, give them 4 minutes flat. Sorry, I was off my mic there. 48 seconds at 300 will give them 4 minutes flat for 1500. And he's maintaining that at 464 seconds.
Bit of a gap opening up now between the front two.
Yeah, it's been pretty even pace so far, and I think, like I said, the older ones are a little bit more experienced and a little bit better at pacing themselves. So at the moment I would say we're still on for a sub 4, but the middle laps are usually the slow laps.
In 15:51, which is over a minute inside his PB. bronze medalist in the Ulster Schools 1500.
Still Callum Morgan, who's leading. Ryan Muskelly's taking a little bit closer order as they go through 700 metres. Mark Carberry of North Down in third.
5,000 man, 5K man in the Down Royal meeting.
For a moment, I thought the first ball were coming together then, but the first two just eased away again.
3,000 last year.
Go through 802.12, Bash.
And they've dropped a little bit there, 66 seconds, which is about 4:07 pace.
Yeah. Seems like the cadence is picking up a little bit, so we'll see if they can get back to that early pace.
Yep, the heavyweights at Ryan Muskelly tonight. Lagan Valley.
3:58.41 in the City of Lisburn meeting in August. So he's in good form. Sam Cole is starting to close up.
Ryan Muskelly looking like he might be angling up to try and take the lead as they come into the bell. Yeah. Indeed, he is taking the lead.
No. Is that a tactic?
It's Jack Logan and Elton O'Callaghan.
304 through 1100.
He picks it up with 1 lap to go.
Is that a tactic by Callum to let him take the lead? But I suspect not, because he's easing away now.
Yeah, Ryan's looking very strong. Picked up his cadence. He still looks pretty relaxed though. It's not truly opening up though. 5 metres maybe.
Yeah, it ain't over yet. It ain't over.
Callum Morgan still working hard.
But looking at the body language, Ryan Muskelly's got a lovely rhythm there. It just looks a little bit more fluid than second place. 200 to go. 3:35.
5 metre gaps opened up to 10, maybe 15 now. Yeah, it looks very comfortable for Ryan Muskelly. He's not dropping at all.
Muskelly, first into the home straight.
Maintaining his form, maintaining his flow.
Yes, Callum Morgan's also kept up the really good pace. Hasn't lost much. There's a fight on for bronze between North Down, Jack Logan. Seems to be holding off.
Fighting all the way to the line. In 4:15 I made that. Oh, actually 4:14, the third place there. So the winner was 4:07.
63-second last lap.
Yeah, I think he eased up a little bit in the last on the home straight when he was confident that he'd won it, but it was a good change of pace, and it was a killer change of pace. Yeah, I think probably the fastest 200 in that would have been from 1100 to 1300 when he made his gap.
Yeah, I think he looking at him, it seemed like he had his race plan was just to be confident in his last lap. Seems like Callum Morgan actually gave it a really good go of taking it out and trying to run the finishes out of him, but wasn't strong enough on the day.
No, but it was good attempts, brave attempts, as they say, and they'll all be a bit wiser for the next time out.
And if the PBs I've got down here are correct, Jack Logan of North Down will have run a substantial personal best. It's down as 4:26 here.
Wow. Yeah, that's
so
quality improvement. Yeah, it was a confident performance that from Ryan Muskelly.
A certain number in the long jump at any one time before the pit has to be cleaned out, sanitized.
So what have we got coming up next? A quick check of my timetable tells me at 8:47, which is in about 4 minutes time, or 3 and a bit minutes, we'll have the women on track, the under 18 and senior women, and just to let you know who's on that start list.
For the women's 1500, we are certain of having a new champion.
I think we just heard
Champion, unfortunately, not running.
there's a new champion going to be crowned tonight, an Ulster champion who's not been crowned before.
Get underway. Just 7 competitors.
Just 7 on the list here.
Okay, so I think I've got the list of athletes for the senior women's.
Caitlin Harvey, Kate McChrystal,
Hannah.
and Denise Toner.
Oh yeah. Got Hannah Gilliland from Willowfield, Murphy Miller from North Down, Brianna Catney from North Down, Cara Lavity unattached, Caitlin Harvey, Lagan Valley AC, Kate McChrystal, Annalie AC, and Denise Toner, Clonus AC. I believe Denise Toner's run a number of PBs this season.
Yeah. I think on that one. Oh, faulty start there.
So
Caitlin,
not ready to start.
Caitlin Harvey from Lagan Valley has really just graduated, I think, recently from Queen's University, and she's let her hockey go and started taking up running, and she's been very impressive over the longer distances this summer. So I'm quite interested to see how she's going to do over a short distance.
That'll be great to see. Unfortunately, the champion Rachel Gibson doesn't seem to be on the start line. Would have been a great race to have with her in it.
Murphy Miller of North Down, the early leader.
We had a standard 16 seconds for the first 100 there.
She's running off a
And I was just talking about Caitlin there. I think she's recently got into the 17 minutes 40 region for the 5k, which is quite an impressive 5k performance for somebody who's only been taking it seriously for a year or so.
Denise Toner of Clonus is third. Tucked in behind that trio, we have Caitlin Harvey.
Looking
the Down Royal 5k and the Down Royal 10k.
cagey affair.
So Denise Toner is taking the lead. Seems to be controlling things from the front.
I think Denise Toner's one of the more experienced runners in this field.
Yeah, I think she took a silver at the Irish Masters last week, and she also made the final of the Irish Nationals a couple of weeks ago and ran a substantial personal best.
And I think we know that Murphy Miller's a force to be reckoned with over 800. So perhaps trying some different distances.
And it's Caitlin Harvey and Hannah Gilliland, the junior champion last year, Ulster Schools cross country champion.
So it's just slowly starting to splinter at the front.
Championships taking place within this, the under 18, under 19.
Hannah's just drifting and Caitlin's
We don't have any under 20s.
chasing them down there. And it's Denise Toner still leading from the front.
In the master competition.
North Down's Murphy Miller holding on well at the moment. She's had a good season.
The under 19.
This is going to be a cracking race, this. It's looking good at the moment, with 2 laps to go. Okay, Denise Toner stretching it.
100 metres in 2:27 for Denise Toner.
This is into the 430s, this. Could be breaking the 430s, and Denise is appearing to break that field. As Caitlin's probably thinking, do I follow it or do I hang back? Do I follow it, do I hang back? It's a big decision with 600 to go. What do you do? What would you do? Guess it comes down to how the training's gone with those 300 reps, 400 reps. And this race is not over. I think Denise might have a 5 or 6 metre lead.
The under 17 champion last year. And
500 to go.
She moves up with Caitlin Harvey. And it's still.
And this lead is growing.
Master athlete from Clonus, coached by my fellow commentator.
So going into the last lap, Denise Toner's got a 20-metre lead from Murphy Miller and Hannah
3 or 4
Gilliland.
second lead going into the final lap.
The fight for the silver and bronze will also be the fight for gold and silver in the under 19s.
It's a very strong runner from Denise Toner, this.
1,200 metres in 3:41.
An interesting thing about second and third is they're still battling, and sometimes those second and third battles, they can help them close up. But I think Denise Toner being a mature athlete will not slow much on this final lap. It's one of the things about the experienced athletes, they don't always slow down that much.
And both Murphy, Miller and Hannah Gilliland might be within a shout of PBs of 4:41 and 4:45 respectively.
Certainly expect Caitlin to run a PB.
So silver medal in the Irish Masters last year, and it looks like it's going to be gold in the Northern Ireland Senior Championship.
This is quite an impressive performance, this.
Denise Turner from Clones is going to be a battle for second, third.
Probably going to be in the 4:30s. And this is a heck of a race for silver.
Here comes Denise Toner,
And
only
that was a great
3
performance.
seconds off her personal
4:33.
best set recently.
And Hannah Gilliland it was who came through for second place in 4:41 and 4:42.
Very good runs from Hannah and Murphy there. Could be a PB for Hannah and maybe just off from Murphy, although I think that may have been indoors, so it could be an outdoor PB.
That was a heck of a race. I think I got my Lagan Valley athletes mixed up there. Apologies. That was a great race, that. 4:33.
Kate McChrystal,
Denise Toner. Excellent. Congratulations, Denise. I should probably say congratulations too to
silver medal in the under 18.
Hannah Gilliland, who would have won the under 19 girls race there. Murphy Miller.
Very, very close race there in the under 19s. I'm sure both girls will be happy once they reflect on their race. They've given it their all.
Which brings us to the final race of the evening, the senior men's 1500 metres.
Well, they're all down there on the finish, trying to sort out their various positions and various medals for the numerous age groups in that event.
Not too warm out there.
So all of a sudden, we've only got one race to go.
Where did all the time go?
Thanks to Ambutran, of course, for their
This
I
should
blame the athletes for entertaining us, Tom.
has been a good night. Some very good personal bests, some very good races. This one is set up to be a cracker. It's been a good series, good season for middle distance running locally. Some very good personal best set earlier in the summer. Chances are we're going to see a tactical one here. There'll be some athletes looking for a title. I think it could be between a few.
Yeah, I'm just looking down on the 1 or 2 no-shows. I think there's a healthy field there.
Yeah, I think we'll have a couple of battles here, so we'll probably be looking at the likes of Neil McCartan, Connell Kirk, Andrew Milligan, and Johnny Wan, who set fantastic 3:46 at a Lisburn meet about 3 weeks ago. So I guess he's the man in form, but there's certainly a few others that could be within a shout. We'll have some interesting battles as well a little bit further back. The likes of Luke Dinsmore, who's broken 4 minutes for the first time. Multiple Paralympic champion Michael McKillop, who seems to be in very good form at the moment. Ran a fantastic 800 metres that night in Lisburn, just outside 2 minutes.
He seems to be getting better with every race, Michael McKillop, which is delightful to see.
Yeah, and there'll be another para-athlete, T20, James Hamilton, who is also a sub 4 minute man. Seems to be coming into pretty good form as well. They had a pretty close race in that 800, so it could be close between those two. Be very exciting to see, and those two will be looking to the Paralympics next year and seeing if they can show some form before they go into winter.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Have the Paras realigned some of their classifications recently?
Yes, they have. Hasn't really affected these athletes. Michael's still in his T37. James is still in his T20 class. So yeah, it has affected some of the other classes.
I think having seen those guys train, I do know James Hamilton is one of the physically strong athletes amongst Matt Kirk's training group.
Oh, he takes his S&C very seriously. He wouldn't miss a session. He'll record every rep like you want from an athlete, but they're just on the line about to go here. Last race of the night, the senior 1500 metre championships.
Okay, well, I think the fastest tonight has been about 15 seconds for the first 100. This looks lively enough. And yeah, 14 seconds, it is the fastest of the night, as we would expect.
Who takes up the lead? Bronze medalist last year.
Equates to 56 seconds on that. I'm not quite sure what that equates to, but I'd imagine around about 3:33.
Well, Johnny Wan's shown his attention's gone straight to the front. Neil McCartan is just behind him, followed by Andrew Milligan of North Belfast. Conal Kirk and Luke Dinsmore sitting in 4th and 5th at the moment.
Inside Luke Dinsmore. In 5th place, the reigning champion, Conal Kirk. James Hamilton inside him in the Ballymena Antrim vest. Sorry, the Ballymena Runners vest.
Well, having watched Conal win the Irish University's indoor title earlier in the year, he definitely played the head waiter for most of the race. But I think he took off with 300 to go in that race, if I remember rightly. Will it be 300 again today? And I know he trains with Johnny Wan, so they will know each other very, very well. They're well aware of each other's strengths.
Quick enough at the moment, they're fairly bunched out.
Yeah, I was going to say they've settled into a rhythm, but certainly being opened up somewhat by Johnny Wan.
Luke Dinsmore went under 4 minutes for the first time in the city of Lisburn.
So we've got Johnny Wan leading from Andrew Milligan at the moment, and Neil McCartan in 3rd.
The green vest of Tony
Strong
McKay
running line coming just behind that.
Runner up in the Ulster Schools 5,000 metres. Sub 15, 5k in Armagh.
Going through 800 and 205.
That's Johnny Wan keeping the pressure on from Andrew Milligan.
Michael McKillop going through in 212 there.
Then Luke Dinsmore.
Okay, it's splintered at the front. There are 5 10-metre gaps, but as we all know, the final lap is really where the race begins, and I think there are 2 or 3 people in 4th and 5th who could eat up quite a bit of ground.
The tactics of the man who
whether Johnny Wan has got enough ground to keep his lead, time will tell.
Took off like a rocket.
Johnny Wan's really extended his lead to close to 20 metres now. A really strong 3rd lap there. 1 lap to go, going through in 250.
Luke Dinsmore in 3rd.
Luke Dinsmore in 3rd place at the moment. That would be a big result. Neil McCartan, training partner, just behind him. James Hamilton's in 6th place at the moment.
Looks like quite a race for
Michael
3rd place at the moment. 3 of them battling it out there.
Michael McKillop
They go
hitting the
through in
bell in
3:11.
308.
Johnny Wan is well ahead. He's just pouring it on. 3:19 with 200 to go. And Andrew Milligan's looking quite fluid too.
Andrew Milligan still running really strong in 2nd place, and Neil McCartan's run himself into 3rd position at the moment.
Neil's looking strong in 3rd. This is a great run, great front run in here from Johnny Wan. And this is quite an impressive time from the front as well.
He'll be just outside his best.
3:49. Excellent. 3:52 for 2nd.
Andrew Milligan taking the silver, and Neil McCartan taking 3rd.
3:57 for 3rd. And that's 4 minutes flat for 4th.
4:06 from James Hamilton. That should be a season's best.
Yeah, I would think so. That was a very impressive race at the front.
Impressive race. Not quite there for Michael McKillop today. It won't be a season's best for him.
So a great night of athletics, starting with the hurdles with 2 great wheelchair events, and then a host of PBs being run in 1,500 metres all the way down the line. It'll be interesting to see. It gives statisticians a bit of work to do on updating the ranking lists.
Because we've just heard the statisticians are going to be busy updating the best of the year results. But yeah, it's been a great night for the endurance boys down here tonight, and they've delivered. They've delivered big time. I would imagine there's 20 to 40% of PBs tonight for the people who've turned up. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I think this is showing a clear justification possibly for splitting the Friday and the Saturday. Maybe that's something we'll look to do again if people are keen. If this many people are running PBs, it wouldn't normally happen when you pack in the 800 and the 1500 at the same day. So perhaps this is a happy change that will result in better performances in the years to come.
Yeah, logistics for the future, and certainly for dealing with things like social distancing and limiting the numbers.
So that was the last event of the night. I think we'll be staying for the medal presentation of this, and then back again tomorrow at 10 o'clock for a full day of action, starting with the 3,000 metres, under 18, under 20. But no, that's the 3,000 flat according to the timetable.
Anna Gilliland in second, taking under 19 title, 441.71. Murphy Miller, silver in the under 19, 442.77.
Neil McCartan taking his bronze medal for East Down AC. North Belfast's Andrew Milligan taking silver. Very strong run. Clear winner though. Dominant from the start. Johnny Wan. Great season he's had.
Yeah, he looks very strong there, very strong. I'd be interested to see him over a 5,000 performing like that on his 15 today. And it was a great battle for the bronze medal there. And Neil McCartan won it today. Was that a PB for Milliken? No, 351. He was probably just outside. That's still impressive, though.
So yeah, tomorrow we'll be kicking off the 3,000, followed by 100-metre heats, men's and women's. At the same time, we'll have some field event action in the women's discus, the men's shot, and some long jump, which will be held in different pools due to the amount of athletes that can jump in a pit at a time, which is 6. Thankfully we've got side-by-side pits here, so we'll be able to have 12 long jumpers going at once.
I think it's been a great meet, you know. It's ran pretty much like clockwork, and that's, you know, thanks to the great team of officials we've got down here at the Mary Peters track. So thanks to the officials, because without those it just wouldn't be happening, would it? So great job there, and some great results. What would you say your performance of the night has been for you tonight, Tom? Performance of the night.
Very hard to pick. I think the race of the night was the under 17 girls, with Kirsty Foster making a welcome return to competition, and Lauren Medine kicking past to get a personal best in the last 100 metres. I think the senior races were excellent as well. Both the women's with Denise Toner performing really well, in a great season for her, and Johnny Wan, very, very impressive win in the seniors there.
I think I'd echo that mostly as well. I think was it Nicholas Griggs who won the under-17 boys? That kind of stands out in my mind. But there were some massive PBs, and I'm just trying to remember who it was. I think was it Rossiter who won the under-17 girls? 26-second.
Huge personal best, and great last lap. Some good training. It's just great to see the athletes have been working away over lockdown, and in a year when things have been pretty awful in many respects, sport is still alive and strong. And
that wheelchair race was a surprise package, because it looked quite routine early on, and then Andrew Gray made a heck of a race for second place and wheeled his way to a what was it? Was it an 18-second PB?
Yeah, yeah, good, very good performance, and good to see Andrew. And I think he might be happier with his 100-meter PB. 100th of second isn't a lot, but he's been working hard this year, and I think next year he'll be making big inroads.
How old is he? Because I know I did some work with him a few years ago. But
Andrew, I think
16 or
he's
17.
he's under. I think he's an under-18 athlete. So yeah, he's only getting going in his wheelchair racing. He's got a lot stronger, and I think he'll convert that to speed pretty soon.
Yeah, what an age to be, 17, 18, when you're full of human growth hormone and everything is just getting stronger.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
What a heck of a memory you've got, Tom.
Improvements do come thick and fast when you're that age. Yeah, it's got to take advantage of it, because it doesn't always happen that way.
And it doesn't stay with you forever. That's true as well.
Okay, I think that's us, and back in the morning at 10 o'clock.
Look forward to it.